All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is another Monday night here at the Tom Bergin's Irish Pub here in Beverly Hills on Fairfax, just off of Olympic. And we are about to get down right now with a very special guest we have on the show, one of the co-founders of the Comedy League. And we're just going to chop it up. A couple of comics talking comedy stuff, comedy biz, comedy industry. And we're going to have some fun with this, man.
Yes, indeed.
Grennison, how you doing, my brother?
I'm amazing.
You are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, man. I
You're one of those,
that.
You like me. You part of the Entreprenegro Club.
You know what? I resemble that comment. I do.
You out there doing your thing, man, with the Comedy League and your open mic and your all-star show.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm really just trying to reach as many people in real life as people strive to reach in the digital world. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of the time, especially in entertainment, there's this kind of cutthroat feel to it, and I don't believe that that's real unless you make it so. So I went the other way with it.
And that's good, because it doesn't have to be so cutthroat.
No.
It really does. There's enough for everybody.
Absolutely.
That's what I like about the digital thing. It levels the playing field so that you can kind of eliminate the cutthroat, because you can just go online, do your own thing, and nobody can really, stab you in the back on it.
Yeah.
You can do. They can go on and try to slam you online for what you're doing. They can go and try to assassinate your character online with their negativity, and which is a digital form of backstabbing. But you still just got to keep on keeping on.
And also, I have such a loyal support base that anyone that was doing that would immediately be like just digitally assaulted by a bunch of people being like, Grannison's really nice. Grannison, do I have permission to be mean? Because I don't even let it on my Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Like the debates, like people can have disagreements, but we can't be name calling people.
Yeah. See, I got kind of like that back door closet loyalty where it's like the homeboy that want to go and like set their house on fire, and I'm like, no,
wait. I don't know.
Yo, G man, they been slapping you online. You want me to go and like torch up they? I'm like, no. Don't break no arms. Don't beat nobody. Don't key no cars. Don't egg nobody. No pipe bombs. It's just bullshit on the internet, man.
Mafia fan base. That's fantastic. You like? Should I drop off a dead horse head?
Yeah, exactly, man.
No.
I'm like, no. It's cool. We got this. We got this. It's all comedy. This is all part of. It's good.
So your fans are too loyal. It sounds like that's.
I got fans with profiles.
There you go. You got fans with felonies, is what it sounds like. Felony fans. That should be your next podcast.
Everybody's a human, man. Everybody's part of God's world. The sun shines on the felons the same way they shine on the righteous. So
you know what? It really does. It really does.
Who am I to judge anybody for anything, whatever.
That's true. They just have less running room.
Yeah,
typically.
I just don't want you burning down somebody's house because they slamming me on the internet. That's all.
It's not real.
It's negative hype. It's just hype.
Yeah,
it's negative hype. There's no credibility to it.
Especially because people don't have houses these days. You'd be burning down a whole apartment complex.
Exactly.
That's collateral damage.
People like, what block they live on? I'm gonna blow up the whole damn block.
The whole thing. That sounds like 1995. Oakland.
Where they work?
Yeah,
I'm gonna blow up I'm gonna blow up the building, the whole damn
people
building.
Over at Costco losing it. It's just a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So yeah, I started the League of Comedy, and it's going strong, man. I got my weekly mic. I got a monthly show that's up on there, and
So what made you kick off that League of Comedy? Like, what was the thing? You were like, doing your thing, and you got frustrated. The open mics, or there was like a culture that was missing, or a subculture that was missing. Usually, when people create something, it's because there's a void or there's a lack of quality in the thing for the thing of the thing for the thing.
Yeah, I definitely felt that there was a lack of community and unity in the comedy scene, and I found that I had a bunch of people that I liked a lot that were in the scene, and and I wanted a place for us to go and practice and work, and I wanted to do a show, and I don't really know how to do things like half-ass. So instead of just doing a monthly show and then being like, all right, cool, I have a guaranteed stage time, I was like, you know what? I want to do this show monthly, and I want other people to have, comedy all-star shows in other places. And so it just grew from a tiny seed to perform and connect with other comedians into this bigger scope.
That's why I opened up the Laugh and Soap Comedy Club in New York, which ended up being on the Queen Marriott when I moved out here. It's the same thing, I wanted to have a spot in New York where I could work out and my friends could work out, because they have a hard time getting on those prestigious New York stages. And, if you don't play the politics right, or if you don't have the good hookup, or if you don't have 3 or 4 comics that vouch for you that are already validated, you don't get time. It's got nothing to do with your talent, man. It's like, it's who you know, who vouches for you, and
it's crazy. I was actually really surprised. I'm still surprised just in the time that I've been doing my open mic at the amount of people who have been just open micers for years. And I was like, hey, where do you go up? And they were like, oh, I don't get booked. And I was like, what?
Yeah, what do you mean you don't get booked?
What are you talking about?
That's a milestone. That's not even the end game.
Yeah.
That's a milestone, and it's a very small milestone.
It's a very small part.
And you got more milestones and bigger milestones to hit. What do you mean?
If you aren't booking shows, then you're not you're a practicer, right? Like if a baseball player just went to scrimmage but you never saw him in the game, they wouldn't announce that person, you know what I mean? He wouldn't be a baller at that point. So I feel like people sometimes don't necessarily set goals in a way that's progressive.
Well, they don't set goals, and then they don't set milestones to reach those goals.
Yeah.
And for me, back in the 80s, just before the comedy bubble started blowing up, I was in the sweet spot, because I got in just before that. And the comedy club owner that owned the club, his name was Jay. It was
it's always Jay.
It's always Jay.
It's always a Jay.
The Comedy Cottage at the Rosemont Horizon, just outside of Chicago. And on Sunday they had the open mics.
Yeah.
But it was a 7-day club, and they had every night. And they had 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, open mic on Sunday, and then they had a show like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, they were doing it.
So they were doing, and it was sold out basically every show.
Yeah.
Every show. So when I went there to do my open mic, he was like, you're funny. He goes, if you could put together 15 minutes, I will book you to be the MC, and that's $125 for the week. Now, for me at the time, that was like $1 million to do 15 minutes.
In the 80s?
Yeah. But 15 minutes is a lot of time.
For a new comic.
For an open micer?
Yeah.
That's like 4 hours of material.
That is.
If you want to put it relative.
Yeah.
15 minutes
time is like dog years. It's just multiplied.
Yeah, and I was at the time it sounded like, oh wow, what's 15 minutes?
Yeah.
I could do 15 minutes, and then you go try to do 15 minutes, and you realize, oh snap, this takes some time. But I had a milestone.
Yep.
Like 15 minutes was the milestone.
That was your Goliath.
At 3 laughs a minute.
Yeah.
And not the long setup, not the minute setup, but the punchline. You got 5 laughs in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, we're talking setup, punch, laugh.
Yeah.
And for 15 straight minutes.
Well, because that could be the last time you get booked, if not. You know, like if you weren't hitting it, because he gave you a shot, right?
Yeah, he gave me a shot, but he liked me.
Yeah.
So he gave me an opportunity to fail forward.
Yeah.
So if I didn't get it right away, he was giving me tips on stuff, and this is setup's too long, and you need to, the punch should be here, or they can see you coming. They're going to beat you around the corner with this punchline, so you need to figure out like how to surprise them.
Yeah.
You come in low, hit them high, come in high, hit them low.
Now, were audiences back then that savvy to where?
No, that's what's cool about, especially the Midwest.
Yeah.
They weren't savvy. They were green. You walk out there with like a sock puppet and do knock knock jokes, and they'd be on the floor belly rolling.
That's funny.
Yeah, and but then it was so hard to get on TV, to where the process of doing, hand sock puppet shadow shows to getting on TV was a very long, tedious process, and you had to like go through that sock puppet area to get to solid, tight TV stand-up material.
Now, was that the flow of things? Because as an actor, you're like, oh, you start doing commercials, then you get TV, then you get movies.
Yeah, no. In the world of stand-up and stand-up only, and your goal is to get that 6 minutes on Carson, was a very meticulous process.
Yeah.
And there was rules. You couldn't do, material about any fluid excreting out of your body. You couldn't do anything in your pants. You couldn't do any genitals, no fart jokes.
You had to make sure the socks were clean.
Yeah, you had, you couldn't, there was no cuss words, no religion, nothing sexual. It's just you had to do all this kind of Jerry Seinfeld.
So it was all toothpaste jokes.
Objective toothpaste jokes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you went anywhere down any of those rabbit holes, then you didn't get booked.
Oh, wow.
And then you definitely didn't get considered for, possibility of that evolutionary journey toward going on TV.
Yeah.
That all busted open when the black comics who were doing that material banded together and formed like the Chicken and Chitlin circuit, and just did only black clubs where they could do as raw and as hood and as dirt and as sexual as you want.
Oh, wow.
And then when that grew, Def Jam saw that market, and then Def Jam evolved from the big push for comics, having the freedom to go as blue and as dark and as black as you want.
Wow.
And so now you had comics that were blowing up on the Def Jam, and by the way, it's their 25th anniversary.
Yeah, I saw it on Netflix.
Yeah. And so you were kind of like if you're a comic like me who came up through, the whole training and the fundamentals and the techniques of mainstream comedy to get on mainstream TV.
Yeah.
The Def Jam clubs was like, oh, you're not black enough, you're not raw enough. You're not real enough. And the white clubs were like, well, I don't know. Are you going to bust off into a Def Jam set in the middle of your set? We know you're clean, and we know but so they were like nervous, because a lot of black comics would be like, oh yeah, no, I'm clean. And halfway through the set, they go deaf on them.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they didn't care. They didn't care. They were just like,
no, they were like, this is me.
This is me. This is my way of, kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't care if you don't book me back. I'm doing my death.
That's
job.
crazy.
Yeah, it was a crazy time, man.
Now, did you get involved in the death? I mean, or were they not booking you at all?
No, I didn't even.
I didn't
even throw my hat. I didn't even throw my name in the mix, because I was already making really good money on the cruise ships, with a lot of the, mainstream, corny cruise ship shit.
Yeah.
And then I was doing colleges, which also was like, you had to be super clean, super corny, super...
Yeah. You can't talk about anything in colleges.
It's even worse now with all the political correctness and all the progressive correctness. And
wow.
Now it's like even the celebrities that go in that try to do anything remotely edgy, there's all these little, subcultural monitoring student groups of issue groups.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there with notepads and phones and just waiting for you to say anything off color.
Oh, wow.
And then as soon as you do, it's just like they slam you viral.
Can't they technically not even pay you if you do?
No, they still have to pay you.
Yeah.
You still get paid.
There's no clause or anything like that.
But because the colleges have such a tight network, and because they talk with each other and they co-op with each other, then, they can make you or they can break you, because the grapevine in the colleges amongst the student unions are super tight.
Yeah.
All the colleges, student unions all talk to each other.
Yeah.
They all recommend acts and shows and comedians and bands and entertainment to each other. But they also will be like, oh, don't book this person. They came to our school and,
they came to our school and started talking about black stuff.
Yeah. Or they they parked in the dean's parking spot, or there was like a sexual issue, or there was a drug issue, or there was like a, you can't go on the campuses and think that you are like, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
Because there's strict rules and protocols and laws and separate campus police and watchdog students and
and physics. Nobody's flying away.
Geometry.
Yeah, that's sacred geometry, especially.
It's like, come on, man.
It'll get the best of us.
If you don't have a note from your mom,
you're
screwed.
Oh, wow. Okay, so on mamas, though. The hall pass, wow.
The hall pass for Showskis.
College, well, it's different. I don't remember much of college, but I remember it not being too restricted, but I also didn't intend on going into comedy in college. Mm-hmm. I was doing applied computer graphics. I was going to go into video games.
And that's partly why I went into comic, was because I was part of the student union in college, and we were booking comedians to come to our school.
Oh, wow.
And I was in charge. I was one of the escort ambassadors for our spring break trip.
You were an escort in college?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you're making a little good money on the side?
Well, you're escorting college kids to spring break is not the same as like being an escort.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's all good.
I wasn't that far ahead. I wasn't that advanced to even have that on my radar.
That's true.
Thinking back, though.
That would have been like master's degree.
That would have been PhD.
There you go. PhD escort degree.
I would be sitting here doing a podcast at Tom Bergin's drinking the water.
Yeah.
I would be like on a yacht right now.
Probably.
With my escort money.
Absolutely.
And a couple of clients.
Hashtag escort money. It's trending now. That's what's up.
So I got into it, and right straight from college, and then my own school was the first school who booked me once I got out of school and I transitioned into doing it, and I had enough time. It took me a while to build an hour for a college show.
Yeah. With all the restrictions that came with it.
Because when you start now, you go for the easy stuff,
Yeah.
The stuff in the clubs that where everyone laughs super easy, it's like pull my finger. I mean, who doesn't laugh at that?
I am breaking up inside.
Yeah. But then you get to a college and you send them your stuff and they come back and they just draw it all out, what you can't do, and you just lost.
And you got a minute.
Yeah. 45 minutes of your act.
Yep.
And then they put a little side note, this is body excretion. This is like genital material. This is religious.
Genital material. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine being I bet the person who wrote that note doesn't even like themselves. Do you have to say stuff like that? This is genital material. Yes, and you're an adult, so.
And you know what? It's funny, like when you actually go to the school that have the rules, the person who books you really it's like Walking Dead. It's like dead men walking when they come up to you to have to tell you what you can't do, knowing that the students want you to do.
They want you to do everything in their weird little minds.
Yeah. And, but you have the administrator or the dean that's like standing there who like pays the check, and they're just like, okay, we have a quality control in material not to warp our young college co-ed minds.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's like, do you know what's going on your campus, homie?
Do you know what kind of porn these people are watching?
Coming on the campus, I saw hand jobs.
Yeah. That was the welcome.
Did you know I saw a student in the dumpster with a heroin needle in their arm with a condom hanging out their asshole, and I can't do fart jokes? Are you real?
Oh my gosh.
Are you serious?
First semester in my college, I saw someone wake up out of a bush. I was like, what were you doing there? They're like, crazy times, man. I'm like, geez, I like this place. I'm going to have fun here.
Yeah, and back when I was going to school, like, it was basically kind of like open. There were laws, but they weren't laws that were highly enforced unless you really were an asshole or they really didn't like you.
They're more like the commandments.
Yeah. Commandments.
Yeah.
Optional.
Yep.
Don't do them.
Very rarely struck down for these things.
But yes, if you do it, we're not going to strike you down there. Yeah. It was like that. I mean, because there was a lot of drinking and driving.
Of course.
A lot of underage drinking.
Yeah.
and underage drinking and driving, and police would pull you over and be like, "Oh, you know what? Why don't you go get some coffee, sleep it off, go
Why don't
straight
you
home.
drive to get some coffee?
Drive to get some coffee. You know, wake up a little bit, go straight home.
Different time.
Different time. Like that would never happen in a million years now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got a wet and reckless for blowing .073.
A wet and reckless.
A wet and reckless.
What's that?
It's not a DUI. It's just a don't do that again. You know what I mean? Like I didn't lose my license. I didn't do anything like that. It's the equivalent of having a beer and then gurgling some mouthwash. I hadn't even drank that much that night. The place that I went to college just had a lot of one-ways, and I started to go down the wrong way and backed up and then went the right way. Cop saw that and was like, "You messed up, kid." And I blew a basically nothing. And by the time I got to the station, it was even more nothing. And so I still got something because they wanted to make their money. But
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no.
I got off, but
It's a harvest for revenue now. That's one of the things. It's like they don't even care what sex or color you are now. It's just like the city needs some money, so how can we get it?
yeah. And I found out that the more the reason why you see people pulled over, it'll be like a little tiny, like Latina girl, and there'll be 6 cop cars. It's because the station will bill you separately for each car that had to go out of its way. But they'll call the other cars and be like, "Hey, come over here." So even if they were on that route anyway, you're now getting charged extra. And if I get shot after this, you know what happened. They heard, I told. Don't worry about it.
Well, you know what? I'm not saying anything
Yeah.
if you get shot, because I don't want to get shot behind you. One shot is better than 2 shootings.
One shot is way better than 2.
They'd be like, "He told you, now you know. What do you know?" I'm like, "I don't know nothing.
Nothing at all.
I wasn't even had in my headphones, wasn't even turned on when he was talking.
Snitches get stitches or shot. We don't know.
I don't know. All I know is I was just nodding and reading his lips.
I was just trying to finish school, honestly, hoping they would call me back. That's funny. I don't know. I'm actually planning on going back to my college town in January. I'm organizing a Northern California tour, and we want to end in Chico, where I went to school. So I will see. I mean, I have tons of people up there still, like outside and unrelated to college. Like the academic world of Chico may or may not remember me, but Chico, they know G.
They got you.
They got me.
So you'll be able to feel like a small auditorium.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
like hometown, homegrown.
Absolutely. I could probably bring out 200 or so people.
That's nice.
You know, and my ex has a huge family for some reason. I never understood that. I was like, this is a town of 80,000. How do you have 1,000 of them? That's amazing. You have 1/80th.
Of the town population is your gene pool.
I'm like, you guys were getting
How'd
down.
you got 'em? Dang. That's how he did. That was the one that popped up out the bushes, right?
That was yeah. I mean, that's what I knew. That's what I knew.
That's when you knew.
She's the one.
That would be a callback in case y'all was wondering what that was. That's funny.
Comedy terms. So then, so you didn't go to school for a doctorate in comedy?
No, I went to school for telecommunications. I wanted to get into radio and TV broadcasting.
Okay, not aliens.
No, not necessarily as a personality as much as like producing shows and kind of getting involved on the production side of TV and radio. And then I had a fine arts minor. So I was really good with the drawing and the painting and the sculpting, and I've been doing all that since I was a very young kid.
Yeah.
And so I kind of picked that as a minor. I was a nude model in college.
What?
Which is how I paid for my school.
There you go.
Yeah.
They were paying a lot.
$100 a class.
What?
Yeah.
They pay $12 an hour, and the class is 40 minutes now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You don't even get 12.
What?
Yeah, you got everything out.
Dang. No, I got...
that's genital jokes right there.
The class was 4 hours.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it was $25 an hour. $25 $25 an hour.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. I feel like even if you get a major in fine arts, it's kind of minor to most people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yep. Yeah,
there's
that's not.
No one was ever like, hey, what did Elon Musk do? And he was like, fine arts. Wow.
A master in fine arts.
A master, which is good for Yoda. You know?
that never holds any credibility in any circle anywhere.
No, it's fun to talk
Even
about.
academics be like, sorry.
Yeah, it gets the same. It gets like an honorable nod. It's the same as when a girl says, "I'm going to school for psychology." You're like, "Oh, good. What are you going to do when you get out of school, though? You know yourself."
Yeah, unless you're going to go all the way through the PhD and become a psychologist,
and then you're killing it.
Yeah, but I don't think they think that far ahead.
No.
I think they just think it's cool to say I'm studying psychology.
They want to tell you what you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like learning someone's sign. They're like, are you a Capricorn? What are you? And you're like, human.
You know, I get it, but I don't get that.
Yeah.
You know, I really never got the signs. You know, I know the universe and the energy and gravitational pulls, and there's like radons and radar, and, you know, we're made up water and, you know, the tide and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But how you know Aries is not compatible with Pisces?
Yeah. I don't know how the tide would tell you that.
How'd you come to that? Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, tide's going out. Looks like we're not going to have sex tonight.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, can I read your horoscope? I'm like, how about no?
I don't know. Can you? It sounds cosmic.
How about you ask me something and I'll tell you?
Promise I'm going to tell you. It's all good.
You don't really need to read my horoscope to know like how I feel about you.
Yeah, to know I like to eat pizza, you know?
Yeah.
Because those are the practical things. Like a lot of that stuff, you end up finding out things and you're like, okay, that's not useful. You know, like that's, what would I do with that?
Well, it's random stuff that automatically is in play anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
When you walk up to the red light on 4th and Harvard, walk only on the green. Oh,
yeah.
That's my horoscope?
Oh, good. Because this month I was going to be a rebel. I was just going to be walking through red lights. I live dangerous.
It's like sometimes they just run the obvious down.
This,
and you be like,
in this time period, something is going to come, and it's going to be better than it was before. And you're like, well, thank you for that. I'm going to keep living until that happens. See what goes down.
Yeah, so we're going to piss off all the horoscope people, but you know what? It's okay.
It's okay.
Your horoscope probably told you that a couple of comedians are going to piss you off and not to take it serious. So.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, this may or may not be compatible for your sign, whatever that might be.
And you have to live with that, and we're okay with it.
You have to figure that out, because, I mean, Pluto's moon is crazy right now. Am I right?
Pluto's showing his moon. Pluto's ass is out right now.
Cold ass, just cold ass.
It's cold ass because it's ice cold. That's what happens when you have a couple of comics.
We start talking about moon ass.
Moon ass.
It's problematic. Who gave us mics? That's what
I know.
Who gave us? Is this your podcast?
You know,
I want to talk to the manager.
Open the refrigerator door and the show is on. That's all I'm saying.
It's done. It's done. That is awesome. I was actually a stripper in college.
Oh, you're not doing that to one up. You actually did strip?
I did. My name was Kelvin. That was the most.
How come all black strippers are named Calvin? Is Calvin like the fantasy, like ding dong?
It's non-threatening. You've never met a Calvin that you felt intimidated by. Ever.
That is very true.
Right?
That is very true.
No.
All the black Calvins I met.
Just like Percy.
And the thing is, I don't think I've ever met a white Calvin.
No. You've never met a white Calvin.
No, I have never met a white.
Yeah.
But every Calvin that I've met was like,
You're like,
he
he
ain't
gonna rob the place. You know what I mean? Like, he's cool.
He's cool.
Yeah. Actually, they told me, because I don't know why. I was stupid. I was going to be like, I could just use my name. I don't know why I was thinking that. That's not a good idea for anything. Like, I would be a horrible superhero if I just like Granison. They'll never know. Damn, what? It couldn't be a coincidence. Like, so yeah, I did that for like 4 months. In college, and I was making good money when I did it, but my manager was horrible. Management was bad. That's why I stopped stripping.
See, it's always the man. I had bad management too when I did my comedy, man.
Yeah,
bad management.
They made you go naked.
They make me go naked, but if they could, they would
Probably.
But there was no like naked opportunities for them to make money on me at the time because the comedy at the time was like so rich.
Probably distract from the knock.
I was
jokes.
like, hey, when am I going to be able to do a naked show comedy?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, I'm sorry, all the the non-naked shows are doing so well, we don't really need to go there right now.
Plus, the naked stars already kind of cornered that market.
Yeah.
Burt Lapton was a big, pretty well-known naked comic. Freddie Dixon.
And now when was that? What decade was that?
That was the second decade, decade of the fourth, I think.
Now there is a nude comedy that's happening in North Hollywood. I've done that.
Yeah,
just recently. Well, I wouldn't say recently, like 2 years ago.
I told a ghost story at that. You're talking about the one over in Studio Cities?
Yeah, Tahunga.
Yep. I went to check it out.
2 roads.
Yep. And they were having ghost story night, and you can't not be naked there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna be here, I might as well use my craft. So I went and told a ghost story as Morgan Freeman.
Nice.
So
that's funny.
Today. Of all days, and I just went into it when I was a small version of me. Yeah, it was cool. It was weird because my dick was out, but Morgan would be proud, I think.
Did you then re-nickname your dick Morgan? Because sometimes that's how your dick gets names. Nicknames.
Just Freeman. Just Freeman.
Just Freeman. Okay.
Yeah.
I like Freeman because it's just all about being free.
Yeah, I also don't think like Morgan is a great name for a manly part of your body.
It's like Calvin.
Yeah, like I wouldn't name my dick Calvin either. You know what I mean? Because I want my dick to be intimidating.
Ladies, meet my penis, Calvin Morgan.
Calvin Morgan. He won't hurt you if you don't hurt him. Squeeze Jimmy. That's his slogan.
Oh, that's funny.
Calvin Morgan. Oh no.
So tell me your plans about the Comedy League. Like, what's your vision for that?
My vision is my vision for the League of Comedy is to build it in LA, but I plan to use tours to go and meet other comedy markets, connect with them, maybe even have like league captains out there, and have a home base for everybody who wants to do it nationwide. Mm-hmm. That's the overall goal. So anywhere you go as a comedian, or anywhere you start as a comedian, you can be like, hey, I started in a league. Mm-hmm. And to really, for those that want to, you and I have talked before about the jadedness of comedians. And the cool thing about what I'm trying to do is it's not forcing people to be a part of something, because I think that's where a lot of people run into trouble when they try and make it into a thing that people are like, this is cool. It's like, hey, if you want to be part of the League of Comedy and I recommend it, then here it is. Come on. Do you want to have a monthly show? Can we figure it out? And as we grow and get, sponsors on board and things like that, it'll be easier to kind of gamify it. Because it could be league. I actually talked to a girl the other day, and when I said league, she was thinking like Justice League, and I was like, "That's awesome." However you do it, I was thinking sports.
Whatever spin you want to take it on, that's all good.
Absolutely, and so it's really I really want it to be nationwide, and have a show in every city.
Well, it has legs. I see it being a strong college thing too, because I can see a lot of college kids getting involved and creating kind of their own, league of comedy league on the college, on their campus, and that can be like a kind of ongoing yearly thing.
Yeah.
For different schools, because they're always the thing about students, man. Anything that has to do with anything that's clickable, cliquish, groupish, tribal.
Yeah.
They just are, because they're still kind of searching for their identity, so they want to belong until they can find that.
Yeah.
And they want that safety net of numbers.
Yep.
Until they have enough understanding of themselves to kind of take their own march.
And everybody wants to be unique and part of something greater than them, even though wanting to be unique is the least unique thing on the planet, right? Like everybody being like, I want to be specific, it's just like, oh, okay.
Can I join your group?
Good. We're the elites, like, welcome. But yeah, it provides that. And even in the little bit of time I've been doing it, like we have regulars that come to the open mic and they're excited to be there. I give away stuff sometimes. People are wanting to help as much as they can. Some people come early to help set up, and I'm like, no, I don't need that, but thank you, and they're just excited to kind of earn their place in it. I have a guy who just got into comedy, and he's like, when I'm good enough to be on one of your shows, will you book me? And I said, absolutely. If you're funny, that's all I want. I just, I'm not going to deny anybody that.
Yeah. Well, you're providing a milestone, and once you have a milestone, you're excited and you're ambitious about trying to hit it, because you know that there's a little bit of a payoff at the end of that.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And I try to be. I don't try and make it about me, but I do try and do my best when I perform. A couple people have come to shows of mine that weren't, league associated, and at an open mic, you never really know. Like, you see people and they're practicing stuff, but you don't really see like a show is where it really happens, when there are audience members that aren't just other comedians writing notes in their head or waiting their turn. You really get to see what somebody can do. And I've been surprised. I've gone and supported people who've come to the mic and seen them at shows and just been like, wow, you're really, really funny. You know? And same for me. They've been like, hey, dude, you killed. And I'm like, yeah, isn't this what we came to do?
Yeah, that's I mean, you have to have a place to work out. So as long as you got a place to work out, then you get to like an audience, a civilian audience, you're going to shine. I
love that you say civilians. That is one of my favorite things. I love it. You're just like, no, because it's the trenches sometimes.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's completely different working with a room full of comics, open micers, and a room full of just like normal people.
Yep.
Civilians, as we call them.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely, totally different experience. Exact same material, exact same show.
Yep.
It could be the exact same room, and you do a complete 100% turnaround.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different experience.
Yeah. It's 100%. Yeah, you'll do jokes and just be like, whatever. I feel like that's if there was a takeaway for a lot of open mic experience, it's whatever. Like you do your thing and then you walk away and you're like, whatever. Yeah. I'm funny.
I mean, going through the motions, even if the environment is not conducive for what you do, is still good for you.
Oh yeah.
Because, mic technique and being on stage and kind of being in your body and in yourself as you're going through a performance is something that still does help your actual like show.
Yeah.
So
I learned a lot of stillness from open mics because the expectation is that you're going to go up there and immediately start blah, 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 right? You see this happen a lot with comics. They'll get up there, and before the audience is even finished clapping, they're trying to start their joke. And you're like, take a second.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Yeah.
No one's rushing you. They're there to see you.
Well, it's about establishing a rapport.
Yeah.
And developing a relationship with the audience.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to do that is to like listen to them and they listen to you, and there's some earnest in that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like this person just talking to hear themselves talk, and they don't even. I'm not even here.
Yeah.
They don't even really care about me.
Yep. Yeah. And no one likes that. No one wants to feel, even if you're super polished, right? You know, I practice trying to make sure that I don't sound like what I'm doing is a routine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I try and pretend like I'm discovering these things every time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's a joke that I've done a million times, I'm going to present it like, hey, you ever thought about this? You know, or whatever it is. Because it makes it fun, and it keeps you fresh.
Yeah, it does. It's like a conversation. Your audience thinks they're just having a conversation with you, and this is just off the top of your head.
Yeah.
They know it's material, and they know you wrote it, but the way you're just talking to me, I feel comfortable with you.
Yeah.
You know, this is just a conversation.
Yep.
And I happen to be laughing at it.
Yeah. Yeah, you happen to be reacting in a way that I want you to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now,
and it does take practice to do that. Mm-hmm. It does. You have to first know that that's what it is you want to do. And then second, you actually have to do it and seeing if you're pulling it off. And then third, you keep what works and you like, and you throw away what doesn't work and you don't like.
Yep.
But the only way to do that is just to get on, trial by error.
Absolutely.
You just gotta.
And see, like I forget who was telling me, but there was another comic. I've been in it about a year and a half, and there was another comic who was saying, like, if they're not big laughs, work on it or let it go.
And you never know. Each audience is different.
Yeah.
Even after 20 years, stuff that gets big laughs, you'll have an audience where it'll get, chuckles, and sometimes not a laugh at all.
Yeah.
And then other stuff where you get no laughs, it's a setup, and that's the part they laugh at. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm not to the funny part yet.
Yeah.
And there's a couple times where it's just like, you guys laughing at this. This is not even the joke.
Yeah. You're like, thank you. Now, would you say a huge part of what makes a comic book kind of come into their own is knowing themselves?
I wouldn't say knowing yourself as much as embracing the process to discover yourself.
Oh, okay.
It's the discovery, which, it's that daily grind, that hand-to-hand combat is how you get to that. Mm-hmm. Because the truth is there.
Yeah.
Because 99% of comics think they know themselves, and they think they know, they think they're just smart, and they think they know everything, and they think, I know this. You can't tell me what to do. I've been through that. I've experienced that. I've had pain. Like, I know. And then you get into comedy, and you go on this journey, and you realize you don't know shit. But what you do know is you're learning more and more and more about yourself in the process, and you're discovering who you are. And sometimes it's a confirmation of what you know about yourself, and sometimes it's a complete 180 surprise.
Yeah.
But you don't know that until you know it, and the only way you're going to know it is go through the process.
By discovering.
Yeah. And it's good to have, a little bit of arrogance going in with an idea of what you know about yourself, because that's what gives you the moxie and the character and the credibility on stage.
Yeah.
That people buy when they see you, because they're like, okay, this person knows what they're talking about.
This person has a perspective.
They have a perspective, they experienced it, and now they're sharing that experience with us. They know shit.
Yeah.
But that is only a small part of how you get to know yourself. That's one piece of the process. That's one piece of the journey. That's one ingredient that goes into what makes you up.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how I see it. You ask 10 comics that question, you might get 10 different answers.
Absolutely.
Because it's all subjective, and everybody's got different experiences, and everybody like, they know what they know, and what they don't know, and
yeah.
And a lot of times you don't know what you don't know.
Yep.
So
that's most of the time.
So, but for my experience, it's, you learn that in the discovery, because what you thought you know, the things I thought I knew, and then I got out and started doing the thing, it made me realize I didn't know shit. And you know, it's also too, you know, this is a jungle, and the jungle is harsh. And you go into it thinking you know what you need to do to be a great comic and to make a lot of money, and you go and do it, and you realize you got it all wrong.
Oh man, if that's your opener, for sure you have it all wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I know what I got to do to make a lot of money. You're like, okay, you're gonna have a rough time.
Yeah, you got it all wrong.
That's not it.
Because you know, and it's like sperm on the egg. There's 20 million sperms trying to get into that egg from 20 million directions.
Yeah.
And only one gets in.
Yep.
That's you. That's your comedy approach.
And your omelet approach also sometimes.
You are 20 million sperm, and the comedy is the egg.
Yeah.
And every single one of those sperm cells is swimming their fucking ass off to try to get in that egg. And you have no idea which one's going to get in.
Yeah.
No clue. You know, this one is like working like a, you know, do I break in by being the guy who brings the, you know, the pot and the heroin and like hook up all the club owners and the managers and the bookers with the high, or am I the guy who is like just working on the material and the material is going to get me in, or no, it's the politics with the comedians. I'm going to just be like rub shoulders with all the comedians, and
we're going to do trades.
We're going to do trades, and when I'm right their skirt tail, and we're going to do like this, like, well, no, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to work like club owners and producers and agents and managers and whatever they want, and whatever dark rat hole they want me to go in to try to get a break, I'm going to do that. You know, the whole Harvey Weinstein thing that's happening in the news right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's the sperm. You know, am I like, you know, fondling Harvey Weinstein's hamburger junk to get a part in the film? You know, these are all these sperm cells that's like swimming like a banshee to get in, and you don't know which one is going to break in, and then whichever one does, from that conception on until death, you have to be a part, like you have ownership in that entry.
Yeah.
So if you break into the business by being the comic that mules money and drugs across the country, and then you break in, well, guess what? I mean, that's kind of the path you're going to be on in the industry, and that's kind of like everybody who's involved in that side of it is going to be like, okay, this guy will mule your stuff. This guy is the guy for the, and it's hard to, and then when you try to be like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore, it's like, well, wait a minute, this is how you got in.
Yeah, that's like a Prius telling you it's not going to be good with gas anymore.
Yeah, so now you say, you know, so it's how do you know that until you know it?
Yeah.
How do you know it's your comedy that's going to get you in? It's your peer politics. It's your industry politics. It's your rat hole hookups. How do you know?
Yeah.
And if you think you know, which of those choices are you going to make to try to make that happen? And
well, I've already made my choice.
Is the success of making it going to outweigh the toxic, contaminated feeling you get when you do the thing to get to the thing? Are you going to be okay with that?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like if the bag breaks right now inside me, would I be cool with that?
Yeah. And so you ask a question, you know, do you know yourself? Do you think you do? And you think like, and then one day you're just funny enough, but you're not quite that funny. Mm-hmm. And because you think you know you're going to make it on your comedy, and someone comes and can see like a little bit of way how they can manipulate you into doing something to hedge and you go for it, how do you know that?
Yeah. How can you anticipate that?
Yeah. So unless you go into it really, really knowing what you will and won't do, and prioritize just what your takeaway in this is going to be,
Yeah.
and to prioritize what kind of person you want to be when all the dust and smoke settles, no matter where you're standing, successful or not,
Yeah.
then you can say you know yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you're like, hey, at the end of this, I want to be 6
Yeah.
feet tall still.
Yeah. But even then, you still don't know until you hit those fork in the roads and those temptations and those, those obstacles. Because that's where the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
When
It's always
you-
that dude who's like, I would never suck a dick to get in comedy. And then
Meanwhile,
the
they're
whole
tickling the
time,
berries.
yeah, that's a Tuesday night for them.
Yeah.
I feel like,
So I'm afraid to see what a Saturday night, if that's a Tuesday night.
man, yeah, he's living that life now. Hey, I made it. I do think though that in today's, like, with media and with all of the distractions that exist, I mean, with Netflix having every one of the funniest comics has a 1 hour special, right?
Yeah.
You have to do so much just to even be in the conversation. I don't know about the drug muling part, but like I got to be funny. I got to do the politics. I also have to try and get an agent who's going to, leverage my time. Like, you almost have to be this octopus of entertainment. You have to do a podcast. You have to do a web series. You got to make appearances, just to even really be serious.
Well, that's what it's come to. You look at IMDb,
Yeah.
and that is a way to rate your marketability in the industry.
Yeah.
And it's a very tangible thing. It's like how many red carpet appearances, how many radio appearances, how many TV, how many film projects you've been in, how many credits you are. These are actual tangible things that can measure your rate of marketability. So that's why it's ranked. There's a ranking.
Yeah.
And where so your agent and manager can get as much money based on that ranking or the potential of the ranking going up.
Yeah.
So it's you have to be super naive to think, oh, I just want to just tell jokes.
Yeah.
And
You hear that all the time.
You're an idiot, because there's like so many other octopus tentacles
Yeah.
that are a part of it. And if you're not even considering that, you need all of those firing full cylinder to even remotely to have other people sell you,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is the game.
Yep.
The game is to get that agent, manager, director, writer
Yeah.
to want to attach you to their shit.
Yep.
We don't give a shit about your little jokes. We want to make money on your intellectual property, on your creativity.
Yeah.
And you're missing a few tentacles.
Yep. Yeah. You went in there 2 tentacles. You short of an octo.
You a you a duo. You were like
You're dual puss. That's
you a dual puss as opposed to a tripus.
yes. Yeah. You ain't even got to try.
You're
it.
not even a quad puss.
Grow a tentacle. Grow a tentacle. You know what I mean?
Grow a couple tentacles because you
Hey,
short.
please. You short. You short, sir. You're short. Yeah. I mean, and also too, just if you look at it from not a humor or comedy based thing, in any culture, tribe, or community, the people that rise to the top of it are the ones that make themselves the most valuable. Sometimes there's backstabbers and they climb on the backs of other people, but if you're a comic and you refuse to promote things, in this time people are like, you can do all right. There are people who are not doing that and doing fine, but like, I would think that you would want to be as valuable as you can to the people that you're involved with, right? So
Yeah.
if you're on a show, support that show.
Yeah.
Why would you hide that you're doing a show? That doesn't ever make sense to me.
Yeah.
Even if it's not.
Well, it's that it's that jaded subculture of comedians who, if you're not doing a major concert or TV or film, then you're not really doing anything. So, they try to create a hierarchy or a lowarchy.
Yep.
So that when they do something like that, they feel that they hit a milestone versus looking at everything as like, a contribution to the greatness you're going to be.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah.
A lot of people bust my balls on what I do because, I'm serious and I enjoy what I'm doing, and it's like it's small potatoes. But for me, like, I'm doing it as if there's 10 million people out there.
Yeah.
And this podcast, who's to say 5 years from now, 10 million people aren't going to be watching it? So the fact that I'm doing it as if it was, then when it happens, it's retro. It's like a dual reality.
You're taking a positive spin on doing something for a time that you're sowing right now, so that when the time comes, you can reap from that.
Yeah.
Should it happen?
Yeah, and what we're doing now is timeless stuff. Like what we're talking about now will be relative for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Even 20 years.
Yeah, until robots start telling jokes.
And even then, the robots will be talking about us.
You still doing bringer shows? And you're like, oh, man, I really am.
The robots will be inspired about this podcast.
Yeah. Like, remember that human podcast? Oh, man, I remember they used to pay me 2 buckets of oil a show. Now
I just do it for 2 chips.
Now I just show up. I just mail it in. Yeah. They don't phone it in. Robots are mailing stuff. Like, I sent my drone. Now, would a drone be a robot, dog? You think so?
Yes. A drone is a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if robots had drones, that's like their pets.
Yes. Yes.
That's kind of cool.
And have you seen those drones that like are the size of mosquitoes? Like they're super small.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I keep up with all that.
Yeah.
Huge nerd.
Yeah, like nanobots, nano flying drones.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then I also saw some videos where you had like some of these redneck dudes in the South that were like Jimmy rigging like shotguns and automatic weapons to like just regular drones you could buy out the store. And they have like remote control trigger mechanisms, and they're flying these things around and shooting trees and animals and shit.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's a few steps up from tiki torches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm serious. That's now. That's real. That's happening right now.
Yep. I used to play a game called Rifts, and it was about this post-apocalyptic world because ley lines and things had caused different things to come through. And so you could like make a shotgun that had a propeller, or like have a laser beam arm or something like that. And that's what I feel like is like next phase Rebel.
Well, have you seen the Robot Wars?
Yeah.
That's cool, but I can see like that is the beginning of the beginning of.
Oh, we got our guest.
Yeah, they came back.
Yeah.
That is the beginning of like actual robot combat weapon war.
Did you now? You're talking about the small ones, right?
Small ones, where they put them in the rings.
Did you see the threat? The challenge that the U.S. had against Japan with the big mechs that they could get in? Look it up. What's going on? Hey.
Yeah. First of all, turn the little switches on. We got 2 guests here.
Yeah.
And let me see if my camera works.
We met them at a birthday, on a birthday affair. There was cake. We had some. Delicious.
The cake was awesome.
Yeah.
The cake was...
Uh-oh.
I got it.
The cake made him lose it a little bit.
Cake.
We were talking about nanites for a little while, and then we were talking about the Robot Wars.
Let me get you mic'd up so we can hear you. Let me get you mic'd up.
Yeah, we want to make sure you're part of this.
You talk, and I'll mic them up.
So basically, the U.S. saw that Japan had built this giant mech robot, and it's functional. Very similar. Nice, Snake. Dum dum. Or no, that's not the right sound. That's it. Yeah, whenever like a bad guy sees you or something. That would make it really easy to sneak around if bad guys made sound effects when they like
Jaws.
They go, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
To your mic.
Like Jaws.
Yes.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can now.
Sweet.
Yeah, they're like, huh? Who's that? That's what they say.
And then you get in a box for some reason.
Can I be honest? It frustrates me so much when they're always when something happens and someone goes, "Hey," it's like, why'd you do that? You could have just gone up to them. They didn't know you were there.
Yeah.
It's like, huh? Who's that? And you can hear it.
Anybody there? Like in horror movies and stuff,
Yeah.
like the person who's
Check.
creepy is going to be like, "Hello, sorry, wanted tea."
I'm just like,
I've
come
done
on.
that though at my house, and I'll turn the corner and I think I see a shadow. I go, "Hello!" Like that's gonna stop something.
hello.
Yeah, like that's gonna. They'll be like, "Oh my God, she saw me. I'm gonna leave now."
You initiated the proper greeting. I will leave you.
Oh my God.
Anyone there?
Malfunction.
I'm cool. Are you cool?
Yeah. I'm just gonna take your TV. Is that dope? All right. Peace out. Thanks.
Hey, listen, I'm just burglaring you. Is that cool? We're good, right?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in any of that stuff. But sometimes the wind is really like we live in LA, obviously, and sometimes it's really windy. And
It makes you believe in ghosts.
No, doors shut in my
Changes your
house,
beliefs.
like slam shut, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then I'm like, okay, the wind just.
Okay,
It's the
see,
wind,
I don't
yeah.
believe in ghosts, but I believe the people that believe in ghosts. So, like, I've met people that told me stories that I believe them. Like, they wouldn't lie to me. Like, my dad said he saw a ghost, and I don't think he's lying to me.
I've had experiences with ghosts.
Right? And I feel like I
Yeah.
have
What's your
too.
experience with ghosts?
Well, before
I
we
feel
go
like I
too
do.
deep down this
Oh,
rabbit
we're
hole,
talking about this now.
let's introduce our two new faces and two new voices.
They look amazing on camera.
What are your names, by the way?
Thanks. My name's Chris.
I'm Taylor.
Chris
Hello.
and Taylor.
Killing it.
And you guys were here for the birthday party.
Yeah, we saw you guys setting up, and we're like, what's going on? You filled us in, and
We thought you were
invited
going
us
to
on. This is really
start like a dance party. I thought maybe it was going to like a DJ.
We could. I do DJ. We could bust out into some. You
thought you guys
got
were
I'm not
DJ,
against
you
it.
got a sexy move for us?
You got that?
I got to stand out.
Nice.
I'm trying to cover my
That
roles. This
was-
isn't awkward.
That was kind of sexy. That was.
That was sexy.
That was
borderline sexy.
the
That was
elbow
all right.
raise.
Let's see your
Just
move,
wait
my man.
until
Let's see what kind of moves you got.
I moves, all I got is shoulder stuff.
That's
He has a lot of
shoulders work.
neck.
Shoulder
He
stuff.
does a
Shoulder
lot
stuff
of
is good.
Shoulders-
I did shoulder stuff in
bobbing.
college.
I learned this from Michael Jackson. Watching him just fucking.
Did you?
Shoulders is OG move.
That's yep.
When
yep.
you know when the hips are locked up from the arthritis.
Sustainable.
That's when you-
Sustainable.
That's hard,
moves.
right?
You watch someone
That's-
dance with their shoulders like that guy's good, or he has back problems.
like,
I'm into
Ooh.
footwork. If you can do good footwork, mad respect. You
Oh,
know what I
yeah?
mean? Like I can just like shake my butt
Yeah, I'm
because I'm
bad
a girl,
at
but if you can like that's pretty cool.
How's it go? You know what? That's good. That's bird footwork.
What about beatboxing? Can you guys beatbox?
I haven't beat. I don't think I've beatboxed in a long time.
It's been a long time since I beatboxed. too,
Yeah.
man.
I can do a cool sound effect with my mouth.
Okay, let's see it.
Do it.
That's like some Jurassic Park shit, man.
Yeah. Dolphins.
Oh my God.
You can put that in
He's
like
like, I
a
have
movie.
nothing on me. Remember that with the guy,
It trumps all.
and then he dies, whatever, the spitting. That sounds like that.
That's awesome. That is a pretty cool sound
I don't know
effect. So
what
you
he's
have
talking about.
dance moves and dolphin sounds.
I'm pretty talented.
That's pretty good.
Package.
That's pretty good. Do you beatbox, sir?
I mean, everyone can,
didn't.
I guess everyone can kind of do it.
Sure. They
My
have-
voice has kind of been messed up though lately. Like,
I like that you
Excuse
talk
me.
away from the mic.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
mean,
you gotta talk into the mic so we can hear you.
is it bad or
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
It's more of like an accessory for him. Like he just goes.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like a wizard wand for you, huh?
I'm trying to talk personally. Yeah.
A wizard.
It's like a
wand.
kind of
prop.
like you're like
It's like a prop.
and then you go back to it.
Can you hear me in your?
Trying to talk to him on the
Yes.
phone is just a
It sounds
nightmare.
better if I'm like this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's waving his phone around.
I'm kidding. I'm
Yeah. As soon as you have it back here, we don't hear it. We got to read your lips.
Oh, okay. You know what I just saw? That like maybe if you want to get topical for a second, the
Yeah.
new Star Wars trailer was just released.
A new one.
The new one for the new movie. That's
Yeah,
episode 9.
yeah.
I was blown away. Or episode 8. Sorry.
Episode 8. I was gonna say, get out of here. If you don't know
episode
stuff.
9. I got the inside scoop. No.
Episode 9.
Yeah, the new trailer. It's way too soon.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
They skipped
it was
8, went
amazing.
straight into
If you
9.
haven't seen it, I'm not gonna say anything. But it was just, I am geeking out.
I'm geeking out just knowing it's gonna happen.
Watch it, dude.
Now I know what I'm gonna do.
By the way,
before
when
I
we're
go to
done here,
bed.
you can come into my car and I'll show it to you because I got Bluetooth. So there's like surround sound. It sounds like you're in a theater.
Okay,
You know?
that's awesome.
It's on a small screen.
I'm surprised you didn't hear it in here because I was like sitting
It was
outside.
loud.
And I heard
It
it.
was loud.
I like that. I like that. We went from like not knowing each other to, hey, when we're done here, come to my car.
Wait, you guys didn't introduce
It'll be
yourselves,
great.
did you?
I'm sure they did.
Earlier, but not
yeah, we
well,
could
to
do
them.
podcast.
But
We could do.
to
We could
me.
do a
I'm okay with doing it again.
So what is
I'm
the
actually
main
curious.
topic
you,
on this?
You do comedy, or you?
I do
writing?
stand-up comedy. My name is Granison Crawford, the man, the myth, the comedian, and I am a myth. I don't actually
I'm a
exist.
huge stand-up fan.
Are you?
Who's your favorite comedian?
You know what? I love David Chappelle.
My
he's
favorite
my
comic?
second though.
Who's your
comic?
first favorite?
Louis C.K. all
He's
day.
a fantastic comedian.
Do you
I'm
like John
reversed. I'm
Mulaney?
in
He's a little bit more
I
low-key,
like John
but
Mulaney
he's such a
as
nerdy
comedian,
white dude.
but
like
I
he's
hated
over-
his show.
Which one? The
His
cartoon?
TV show that was on like that long.
Big Mouth.
Maybe no, it was like
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about? It was the Mulaney show.
okay. I didn't see
Never heard
it.
of it. I actually did stand up
thought
for a little while
Louis
too.
C.K.
Yeah.
show wasn't good either. I thought.
Louis?
Louis.
No,
I didn't
Louis-
like
Louis-
it. There's some bad episodes. So there were a couple episodes. Where
Louis is something very unique. There's
kinda
nothing
dark.
like
Louis is a fantastic show. Lucky Louis was not so great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But can I throw this down on you?
You
One
can
of my favorite
throw it
comics.
down.
Top 3.
Okay.
Top 5 of all time.
Do it.
Patrice O'Neal.
Oh, Patrice O'Neal.
Patrice O'Neal was an open micer at my show in Boston.
you serious?
He started on my stage. Yeah.
I am such a huge fan of his, and I got to know him late. Like I think he died like a year after I found who he was, and he left us with so much gold, which is like the Opie and Anthony show. He was always on
Yeah.
it, and there's like tons and tons of like footage of him. It's amazing.
Didn't
Yeah,
Amy
I think
Schumer
I might-
steal one of his jokes?
No, Amy
yeah.
Schumer.
I wouldn't surprise me.
Never know.
No, Amy Schumer
Not
did
a
a joke
fan.
on him at the Charlie Sheen roast.
Oh, nice. But
Yeah.
she went on
she
in
there?
her last special and a joke that he
Can I
had.
tell this story?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
What?
So he was at this like he was doing stand up somewhere in like some sort of festival. I think it was in Canada.
Yeah.
And he was doing his thing, and if you watch it closely, you can tell the crowd was kind of uncomfortable.
Of course.
They were kind of PC,
Yeah.
and he was getting really wild, and so he noticed that, and he got even wilder.
Yeah.
That's
And so then he was
what's
like, "You ever heard about the Spider-Man when you fucking jack off and come in your hand and throw it in her face and all this shit?" And he just did a bunch of those kind of jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a donkey punch
Just to
blah,
make him
blah, blah.
uncomfortable.
Yep.
And it was really, I thought it was like the coolest thing that he just read the crowd and did that.
Yep.
I love that.
And then
Classic
Amy Schumer
comedian.
did something similar to that.
Just
So I
that
wouldn't
style,
say-
you mean?
Well, it was
Like
just
where they're uncomfortable, she kept going.
no. She did it in the sense that she told those kind of dirty jokes
I feel like I
So I
wanted
wouldn't
to
say
like
she
her
stole
so
the
much.
jokes.
Yeah. She told a joke that was like identical
to
but-
his.
Yeah.
specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, I
She
gotta
went to a
check.
few different people.
But
I
thought
I
her last
wanted to
special
like
was
her. No, she just
really
talked
bad.
about her vagina the entire time.
Yeah, it was gross.
Can I say that on here?
well,
She did the whole time.
Now
it was
you're
just
trying
like
to film
vagina
yourself.
jokes.
Better
We've been
What did I
saying-
say before? I have
We've
no
been
idea.
saying fuck and shit.
actually, before you got here, all
now-
we said was vagina for an hour straight. It was weird.
Vagina for an hour.
We even said pussy once.
Uh-oh.
I can't.
So-
The P word.
You said pussy. All right, let's do it.
yourself.
She talked about her pussy the whole time.
There it is.
I just can't. I want to like her because she's not like. I'm all about like women, obviously, because I am one, and she's not the most beautiful woman in the world.
How do we know that? There's some
Can
foolers
you-
here in
is it- you
Hollywood.
can't tell.
You're hot, but you could have a penis.
I could.
I have been fooled.
None of you know.
I hear that all the time about me, myself.
You're
About
hot, but
me.
You could have a
You could-
penis. It's like, whoa.
It's like
Don't put
Jesus,
that
bro.
kind of pressure on me, sir.
Yeah. How do you know?
That's pressure on a dude. You're hot, and you could have a penis.
Are you still hot? Am I
Kelvin
do?
He could have a Kelvin Morgan.
What is that? That's the whitest name I've ever heard in my entire life. That is the whitest name I've ever heard.
Kelvin Morgan. I'll take
That's how
one
comedy
Kelvin
works,
Morgan.
We
people.
were talking. So
That's how comedy works.
That's
my God.
a callback.
That's a callback, yeah, because
That's a callback.
my stripper name in college was Kelvin, and we were talking about how that's the least.
You were a
threatening
stripper?
name. Yeah,
So you can dance.
I
You're
can
talking about
dance.
dancing
I got
around here.
footwork. I
So you
do.
think you
Hello?
can dance?
And I
Showing
was,
up for work.
and I was a nude model in college.
Yeah.
Are you being serious?
I'm serious. So we were talking about that on the show,
Yep.
and then of course, being a stripper and being a nude model, obviously, the junk came in, and I was saying that there's a nude comedy show, and he was
Yep.
like, "Oh, I was on that show." I was like, "Oh, I was on that show too," and he was like, "Oh, I did Morgan Freeman. It was a ghost story. I did a Morgan Freeman thing."
Yeah.
So he went into his Morgan Freeman,
way.
and I said, "Oh," he goes, "I did Morgan Freeman, but my penis was out." I go, "Well, I go, we all name our penises based on an experience. Did you name your penis Morgan after that?" And he goes, "Nah,
He's a free man."
Freeman. But a
You
free
know.
man, I name him
Morgan
Freeman.
Freeman?
Yeah, please give me a Morgan Freeman. I can hardly see you, but
When I was much younger, I used to call my penis Calvin Morgan. Calvin Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman.
Oh my God, you can make so much money off that.
I
That's
could.
great.
But you just
That's
be an
great.
impersonator.
I could
Can you narrate
just-
my next movie?
Absolutely. Is it
Absolutely.
Is it about penguins? Because penguins
You
didn't
sound like,
exist
can you do
until
Obama?
Morgan
The
Freeman
penguin went a
narrated
little
that movie.
Obama.
What's that?
I feel like the penguin went a little Obama. It's like penguin. Can you do Obama? He can do
Obama penguin
Obama.
would be penguin.
There you go.
Yep,
That's
that is-
it.
that's Obama.
It's the quick penguin. Penguin.
Penguin.
He's like, penguins are fantastic.
No.
But have you seen pigeons lately?
Have you seen pigeons lately? Not gonna say what it is, but it's a penguin.
I love it. Yeah, you look like you're being so thoughtful, like he is.
Yeah.
He's always like,
Yeah.
and let me be clear. Like,
He definitely thinks about what he says before he says it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely thinks about what he says.
We went from that.
Very, very
and you're like,
calculated.
you're
To
listening
just blurting.
to now he's like, let me, okay,
Word
look,
vomit.
something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen soon.
Yep. You got the hands.
He's got the fucking,
The
what is it?
hands.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
tell you something.
No,
Did
I
you
hate
guys-
that. It's the this, it's that, that thing.
Do the point.
Hey, let me tell you right
Listen,
now. He's like, we're
listen.
gonna do it today, and we're gonna fucking like, what are you? Like, he's the worst to listen to. He's
Did you
horrible.
see his
Devil.
experience in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, where
is it
he's
like?
When he's throwing the
He's
t-shirt.
playing ball with
throwing paper towels.
Yeah. Here you go, guys.
Paper towels.
It's hard to watch.
He who shall not be
It's
tweeted.
really hard to watch
He
that
doesn't
stuff.
give a shit.
It's
Yeah.
easy to make fun of and stuff, but
Yeah.
to be honest, man, like these people are suffering.
it's real.
It's
Yeah.
real stuff. This
It's
isn't like
real.
some sort of joke, and it's like I feel really bad that he's like representing us. You know?
Oh yeah.
And all of
Yeah.
us. It's fucked up.
it's painful.
Yeah.
It is painful.
You know what's actually, sorry, I'm going off the topic. We were talking about how we were going to come do the podcast, and he was saying, oh, look, we're going to start talking about Trump, and we started laughing. We're like, no way, and we're talking about Trump.
You weren't supposed to say his name.
Oh, I mean,
we gotta blank that
dumb.
out.
We gotta-
It's gonna be in
Wow,
post. We're
too
gonna be in
bad.
post.
Give me fucking.
It's not even gonna be in it. It's just gonna be a black.
No, sorry, we're live.
deep voice?
It's out there.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to say, what I was saying was I apologize about the T word.
So, penguins, but
Obama.
I can't do my, well.
So now,
penguins.
where can we find you online? Like, how do we find you guys online?
Me?
Yeah, you got Instagram, Twitter.
I have Instagram,
Snap?
but I'm awful with it.
What's your
I'm more of a
Instagram?
Facebook. It's at Nikki Byers, NIKKIBYERZZ.
And what does Nikki Byers do? Did we find that out? Did you?
I'm a filmmaker.
Awesome.
I'm a production coordinator and a camera operator.
Oh, wow.
And we met on the Robert Irvine show.
What's your camera of choice?
I own an A7S II, which is a DSLR.
Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why when you said you're gonna set up, I was like,
I was like, let me shoot for
We
you.
gotta.
you need her. We gotta link up.
We
I
gotta
don't
get
have
yours.
anything lined up till the end of the month, so
I'm doing a comedy documentary film, so we need
I told
to
you
talk.
I'm a comedy, like that is my genre of choice.
All right, we'll get
sure.
your digits. And my man, what about you? What do you do?
I work in television also, and my handle on Instagram is the Chris O Show, THEE Chris O Show, but I don't really post on that too much. I just wanted to come hang out with you guys and have a conversation. This is like
No, this has been
is
great.
a blast for me, man.
Yeah, no, this is fun.
This is awesome.
That's what every once in a while you have an organic comedy improvisational moment when you do these podcasts, and this is one of them.
Every now and then you get strangers to say penguin as Obama.
Penguin. Penguin.
Also, don't you find that like
Can't get
the
over
more
it.
it's kind of like in stand up, like the more you do it, like you guys seem very seasoned at this, like talking and just organically kind of creating conversation.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more relaxing it is to do.
Yeah.
You don't
Well,
even think about it.
there is a lot of freedom to it.
Like you bring us into it almost, like you're making us very comfortable with you guys. That's why I think Howard Stern is crazy.
Well, the priceless moment for me tonight was to have you come in out of the blue and say, Calvin Morgan is the whitest name I've ever heard.
It literally is Calvin
Tristan
Morgan.
Travis. Like,
I am Calvin
My name
Morgan.
is also very Taylor Byers.
And he follows up with his Morgan Freeman voice. That's the name of my penis, Calvin Morgan.
you ready?
Calvin Morgan.
How you doing? Calvin Morgan. I'm here to fucking
to
do your
me-
taxes.
Yeah.
Is it still up?
That to me was worth it the whole night. That one moment made the whole night completely
good.
and totally
Is that what
worth
it sounds
to me.
I feel like Calvin Morgan would use LinkedIn for dating. Like that's the kind of guy he is. He'd be like, "I'd like to be part of your network. Also, could I get some of your vagina?"
Can we talk and perhaps have a tea over some sort of? That's how I hear Calvin Morgan speak.
I love white people being like nerdy robots.
White people being white people making fun of white people.
I grew up on comedy where it was like the white guy sounded like that, like Dave Chappelle. He's like, Chip, don't do it. He's like, I'm gonna race him, and he goes, Chip, don't do it. Chip. It's like that's the white guy to me, and like just have a fun time with it, man.
Have a good time.
No, he was always trying to be lighthearted and funny with it. You know,
love it. Don't get so butthurt.
Like Dave Chappelle is my favorite comedian of all time.
He's fantastic.
Easily.
Chris Rock is also awesome. Chris Rock hasn't done anything for a little while.
He has a Netflix deal, I think.
Oh,
so it's coming out
his,
soon.
his brother Tony Rock,
he's amazing.
Used to work out at my club in New York, and he's funny.
He's very funny.
Like lift weights?
Do we lift weights?
No, he said he worked out at your club. That's cool.
No, it was a comedy club. It wasn't a fitness club.
That makes sense. In hindsight.
Are you being a Calvin Morgan right now?
No, sir.
Calvin Morgan.
DJ Calvin Morgan.
Sorry. Change it.
Like, pardon me. Calvin Morgan would say pardon me.
He would pardon himself.
Me.
Yeah, I will
or my bad,
excuse myself.
My bad,
to make up.
Sorry, brother.
It's like, pardon me, I have to excuse myself. Like, where are you going? I have to just call my mother. I don't know.
Do your glasses.
Yeah.
I'm excused.
Yeah. Can I be excused, please? May I?
Glasses just.
Dude, I just I bought these glasses recently, and like they keep.
Wait, show them without
They're not falling at
look
all.
how big. Look, those are his eyes, and then he puts them on, and they're like.
I can't see.
Yeah, but the glasses make you look cool. The glasses do make you look cool.
They do make you look cool.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
You're
like,
way.
hey, no, it's like, how you doing? My name's Dave, and it's like, also known as Calvin Morgan. You can also call me Calvin.
What do you like? Which one?
Yeah, the glasses make you look like you
This is
just
my brother
came from a
Tristan and
gastropub.
Dylan and Trevor.
Dylan, Trevor, and Skylar. It's all
Chad.
Oh, man.
I think every douchebag ever was named Chad.
Chad.
We got some people
Xander.
on.
Xander. Ooh, that is.
Yeah.
We got
What's up, Alex? No.
We got Teddy Wells. We got Mary Harris. We got who? We got a couple people that just signed on right now.
Hello, Mary.
Oh, this is a live thing?
This is live. This is live. This is live
and
on
I said
Facebook.
those words.
This is supposed to be live, but we didn't have access to the internet.
And I said pussy.
You said pussy.
Yeah.
Can you say that?
You said pussy.
I
live.
just said it.
You can. What It would be weird if all of a sudden you stopped being able to talk. You were just like,
Yeah.
No, we're exercising.
Mother. Damn it! I was trying to say fudge.
We're exercising our freedom of speech until they shut the internet down. So you can say, you know, Calvin Freeman and pussy and all that for now.
Oh my gosh!
Until they regulate
you guys
us.
got to hashtag Calvin Freeman when we tag you, so it starts trending because people will think it's a celebrity they didn't know.
Calvin
I'm with the trend,
Freeman.
bro.
That's the new Kanye.
They'll be making up shit. Oh, I saw him in Gone with the Wind.
Oh man, Calvin!
That dude was funny.
Calvin. He was talented back then.
Isn't he
Calvin.
the lead in Baby Driver?
Yeah.
Calvin Freeman.
Calvin, dude, it sounds like a DJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, come to the stage
Harris.
next.
Yeah, I know.
Calvin Harris and Morgan Freeman together. That would be quite the combination.
Morgan
It might
Harris.
actually be dope.
It would be a good duet
Yeah, like
karaoke team.
you do your voice, and then I'll be like, and like break it down.
You do, yeah.
I wish my
That
voice
would be
was
dope.
loud.
I think it would work.
Huh?
Can you do Morgan Freeman?
No,
He's pretty good at
I've never been able
impressions.
to do Morgan Freeman. No.
You crush it.
Yeah, that was great.
Like you could be
it was
him.
good, and it
I
wasn't
wouldn't even know
like
if I didn't see you. I can't see you
I
because
need
the
to
light.
hear it in the headphones, you know,
Oh yeah.
because his voice is so low that
It's so.
Sometimes.
the
Relaxing.
story of us or whatever he does. You know, I have a really high pitched voice.
Wow.
What is so soothing about his voice?
Hey guys, I just found out that Teddy is from the Hawaii film industry.
Oh.
So say
Teddy.
hi to the Hawaiian film
Hi,
industry.
Teddy.
What's up, Teddy?
What up, Ted?
And Mary says hi, and she says it's great to be here.
That's awesome.
Mary, you're
And,
wonderful.
And she says woohoo freedom.
Yes.
As long as we can
Morgan
hold on to
Freedom. Morgan Freedom.
Morgan freedom.
I like that. Morgan Freedom.
Morgan freedom.
Freedom. Hashtag noodles.
That's the new name of your penis.
Morgan
actually,
Freedom.
actually
That
that
is
that's
so
funny.
true. That's
really
good.
That is so true.
True and good.
Because it just tastes like freedom when you listen to Morgan Freedom.
That makes sense. It does.
Sounds like
you
freedom.
Can feel it. It's on the palate.
Sorry, my buddy's meeting us here and he keeps calling.
Oh, dope.
Hey, bud.
He's entertaining too. If you look through him. Kyle Goldstein in the house. Come in.
Hey,
Oh, we're doing a
what's that?
production now.
You know what? Can Kyle switch with me? I'm gonna go get.
Go on that side. Go on that side.
You want me to chat?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come chat with
Kyle,
me.
unless you still want to get a drink.
All right, so
I'll
our
take a
podcast
Thank you, bud.
is growing here, and we're live on my Facebook right
Kyle
now.
Goldstein
and
in the
we're
house.
here
Oh
at the
my
Tom
God.
Bergin Irish Pub,
Oh my
and we're doing a little podcast.
Your hair looks so good.
Oh, I just walked into a bar.
Kyle
and I'm on
Goldstein
the
got a
spot.
haircut.
Dude,
So
your hair.
who's our new addition? Who do we
Kyle?
have?
I'm Kyle Goldstein.
Pussy Goldstein.
Kyle Goldstein.
Sorry, that's kind of a thing. Yeah, he just walked into it.
It's kind of a compliment if you think about it.
Yeah.
You're like, get it, Kyle. You know.
Too far, sorry. It's just because you gave me the free reign, so just kind of running
I did.
wild with it.
Yeah,
love it.
you're kind of our new female co-host.
Thanks.
You add like estrogen to the the whole experience right now.
And power.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had a girl on the podcast.
It's the first time I've been
I was
on the podcast, so there's a lot of firsts.
Hey, you know what? I mean, like, I'm unemployed at the moment, so
nice.
I actually like to say in between gigs.
So you're right.
That's what I call
I
it.
can help you guys. I could be your female wrangler for the podcast.
Oh,
and
we
we
need-
on every week.
And he's a good-looking dude, man. He can
okay.
wrangle in some
He
hotties.
could probably
It would be me every
I'm just
time. It
tall,
would
I'm
literally be
telling
me
you.
every time.
I'm not good looking. I'm just tall, dude. It's like a cheat code. It's like
that vertical
it's like
advantage, man.
You haven't scrolled up to his face yet. You're just. Oh.
He's a good-looking guy. It's just a
Yes,
black
he
box.
is. Why do you think I hang out with him?
You could be our chick wrangler, Kyle. No problem.
So what's the
He's
name
got
of your
the power.
podcast, guys?
It's called Stick with the PodBrother, but this series is called the Penalty Game Podcast, and basically it's a game I invented that we can play while watching sports. But since there's no TV in here and there's no
Okay.
internet, we're actually just two comics talking about relative shit.
Sweet.
And then you guys popped in and added a little flavor.
Yeah.
To the pod-
Chris
Yeah,
adds
it
a
was
lot of
No, it's the reverse of
Chris has
flavor.
a lot
I
of-
loved it.
What did you
Yeah.
say about Chris?
think
You were
Chris
like,
adds a lot of
he
flavor.
said
Chris
no
is a chatty
before.
Cathy.
He described Chris as turning on the TV because you could just like sit back and relax and just
Yeah,
watch him
Chris
talk.
talks, and if you're eating the
Just
cake,
funny.
you hang out with Chris, and he'll just chat away and just entertain. He doesn't care if you don't respond.
That's
Keep
awesome.
going. If you just don't say a word for a half hour, he'll just.
It's just constant comedy. It's great.
He sounds like my
You don't have to
TV.
put any effort. It
It
just
turns on by itself.
Nice.
It's awesome.
I worked with Mary on the Queen Mary. No, Mary came to my show on the Queen Mary. That's how she knows me. That's
Oh, it's
remember I
live,
was
so
telling
he's
you I
talking
own the
to-
comedy club on the Queen Mary. Yeah, I got one of my.
Mary's the homegirl.
She's one of my homegirls that came to my show. When
What's
I was
up,
on the Queen
Mayor
Mary.
Bear?
Mary, good to see you again.
Hi, Mary. Holler.
Yeah,
Holler.
she was on my
What you
show.
wearing, Mary?
I'm gonna need some cooler words from you.
They made him make
What
it
you wearing right now, Mary? It's a
And
totally.
Teddy-
I could go. Did I go there on this
What-
podcast, Lady
You-
Wrangler? I go there.
Did you see what I introduced you as? We can go there. I went there. Might as well do it too. Let's all do it.
Teddy wants to know where we're located. So where are we?
We're in Hollywood, Teddy.
Hollywood, Teddy.
ass.
What is the name of this bar? I couldn't even tell you.
Tom
That sounds
Bergin's
sad.
Irish Pub is where we
Yes,
are.
that's
Tom Bergin's
I didn't
Irish
drive.
Pub.
Tom Bergin.
Yeah.
Tom Bergin's. It's super low key.
Yeah, so we're in the back room. Make a left when you come in.
When you come in the door.
Yeah.
Oh, listen,
It's
you
pretty
guys got a real
poppin'.
pro setup going.
Hey,
on
Rebecca,
here, man.
how are you? Rebecca just joined the room. Rebecca May.
Rebecca's killing it.
Her son played last night at the Bill Zucker tribute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they were very good.
We're going to take a quick
They're
break.
awesome.
That's great.
All right, so
Quick break.
Quick break.
so listen, we were only supposed to go to 10 o'clock,
Okay.
but
What time is
since
it now?
we picked you guys up and you're so much fun, we're 20 minutes
Oh,
over.
this is not a flattering angle. Let me just get a good.
But I think we're gonna
Look at that little side. That side.
What is it? Is this
We're
GoPro on
Just
too?
look that way. It's a bit more flattering.
Yeah, here.
yeah, the
Beautiful.
GoPro is on too. So before we get out of here, let's get like everybody's call to action so that we can we can follow each other digitally
Yeah.
on
We can
social
follow each
media.
other digitally.
Kyle Goldstein, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm taking
you.
job
We were
offers
just
right now.
saying LinkedIn jokes.
Nice. Just don't go there
Do you
for
ever
drinks.
hit on women on LinkedIn?
I'm a seasoned script supervisor and
You
a
ever
post
join a group on
Yeah.
LinkedIn with ladies?
for ladies. No,
Yeah.
I never did
That's
LinkedIn
good.
for ladies.
That is good.
This
You're
is
not-
I really
LinkedIn
like girls
for
in
ladies.
suit coats
Morgan
and broad shoulder pads. I'm really into that.
Are you on Tinder cleaning it up? Are you like sweeping it up on Tinder?
No, I am not on Tinder anymore.
Plenty of fish.
No, I'm pretty good at just getting drunk at bars.
Adult friend finders. Are you on any of that stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of.
He's trying to find you. Call to action. This guy.
He just rolls into a bar with like all of his like white manhood.
It's just like it's just like a lot of privilege over here. I capitalize on it.
White manhood.
I capitalize on all my privilege.
Thank you for admitting that. We've been waiting 400 years
I am the first
for
one.
somebody that got the balls enough to say, look,
I am the first one
we've
to
been walking the privilege.
Listen,
And if there's anything I can do to help you out.
for my shorter friends and stuff like that, because it's a lot tougher when you're like, a lot of girls just literally put on their profiles, they'll put on their profiles, 6 feet or taller, don't even bother. And no one, everybody just laughs at that, you know?
Yeah.
But you know what? If you said that about a girl, like you said, oh, only like a
Double
size
Ds.
2 or smaller,
They would
there would
shellac
be an
you.
uproar.
Oh yeah,
You know?
that's I even see that. That's
Well, I know
stupid.
how-
That's
dude,
stupid.
I'm telling you, as a tall guy,
Hey, Teddy wants to invite us to Hollywood or Hawaii to do a comedy show. Hey, Teddy, comedy in Hawaii in 2018.
I know if I could talk.
We're down. We're down.
Yeah,
we'll
we're
be
down.
there.
Can you get a crowd? Can you?
Talk it up. Let's do it. Teddy?
Okay, so where can we find you? Where can we find you on Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Kyle W Gold.
Kyle W Gold on
Very
Instagram.
professional. Yeah, Instagram.
And give us yours one more time.
Oh,
love.
Nikki Byers, NIKKIBYERZZ.
On Instagram.
Instagram.
And are you on Facebook as well?
I am.
Where are you on Facebook?
It's Taylor Nicole. You're not going to find me. It's everyone's named Taylor
you're
Nicole
deep.
in the world. Good luck. I have
deep.
purple hair.
All right.
You can scroll through profile
Chris.
pictures.
You gotta be able to find Chris.
Purple hair.
Chris O'Neill.
Does the curtain match the drapes?
With my drink.
Purple.
Yes.
My curtains.
Yes. Or my yes.
that would be something. Be like,
yes.
yo.
Thanks.
I believe so. And
Where can we find you? Where can we find you on the web, my man?
well, look, basically, let me explain. Look, what I would no, I thought you were laughing. No, but I love it. No, I'm great.
That's great.
I love I love Obama when he takes like 45 minutes to say like what he means. It's like
Yeah.
Look,
'Cause he
basically,
cares.
let me explain. And first and foremost, you know, like
Yeah.
he just does.
What you're describing is a thoughtful leader. It's
Yes, exactly.
definitely the opposite of what we have going on.
right. So what you're describing is someone that did a great job.
Oh, you mean empathy? Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's crazy.
Where
Okay,
You should take
so
this
where
because I'm
where
gonna
can we
drink all
find
of
you?
No, you can't find me. I guess I got.
You can't find
I
him.
have like the Instagram.
Instagram. Where are you on Instagram?
The Chris. It's like what you can do is
Request
sign
him on
Tinder.
Uber. Good luck.
No, you can find me on Tinder, guys.
You can find him in WeHo.
Hashtag right swipe. No.
Watch out. Get your mace.
Hashtag right swipe. Hashtag what's good. Hashtag
Morgan Friedman.
Morgan.
Girls use Lyft,
Morgan
okay?
Freeman. No, you guys are great, man. I went. You know what? And this kind of blew my mind. I went to go get a drink, and I was thinking about like this format for like actually something like this. You know, the way you guys have it, and having just regular bar goers or whatever they're called, people coming in here, regulars, and having a conversation with them and seeing what
Yeah.
what they have to say.
Oh,
Bag of cocaine.
You're a little late. We're already doing this.
Yeah.
Is that so? This is a normal thing. I thought you were just having us on. This kind of a spontaneous thing. I didn't know this was like a regular thing.
Hello.
That's really cool.
Is it on?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
okay.
on. I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Calvin Morgan, where can we find you?
No, that's not me. But I'm Grandison Crawford. You can find me Grandison Crawford on Facebook. You can also find me on Instagram.
Okay, we're gonna
at
we have lots of
Insta
them to
Grandison. That's Insta GRANISON. You can also find me on
don't you
Facebook
guys
at
go for a second? I'm gonna,
facebook.com/Granavision. Or if you go on
have like a big roll
facebook.com
here. I have
/League of
2
Comedy,
big rolls
you can
here.
find out about the weekly open mics and the monthly show that I host and produce.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having you on.
Yeah, thank you.
You can find me at thepodbrother.com, and I don't know where you'll find me. I'll be just around, so stay tuned and thepodbrother.com, and I'll let you know when I'm going to be in your neighborhood. So thanks for hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun.
Are we done?
Bye, Mary. Bye, Teddy.
Are we done?
We are done. We are signing out. And
Thank you.
Hey, Teddy, we are going to do comedy in Hawaii. TeddyWells.com. We will follow you, and we'll bring the Pod Brother and the Comedy
And the
League.
Pod Sister.
The League of
And the
Comedy.
Pod Sister.
The Pod Sister.
We'll bring the League of Comedy to Hawaii, and we'll rock this. Thanks for hanging with us.
You guys, this has been amazing. Thank
So
you.
much
Thank you very
fun.
much.
Now the bomb.
Thanks,
so much.
guys.
Bomb.com.
I was just going to say
Oh
that.
man, I wanted.
No, you absolutely did not.
So much fun. Hope we didn't.
Dude, you guys are